Welcome back to the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament. We are in the round of 16, and today's match is a Game 3 between elite players DiabeetusThe2nd and brianwilliams42. I am Quinn Patrick on the comms, and we've got Gangly Chris on tracking and Tanuki Monster on the restream, and this is looking like it's going to be a really intense race. Either way, once this is over, one of these two serious championship contenders will be going home. Either one of them could have made it to the finals. This could have been our finals. But instead for them, it's all going to come down to this. We've got a 10 strength start, which is pretty good. You can smack around a Draki or a Ghost pretty easily with that. 11 agility is kind of low. No MP at all, but it doesn't matter because they're not starting with any spells. We will be dropping the gate for them, waving the green flag in just a few seconds here, and we'll get to see what the treasure chests in the throne room are going to be. And they're off. We get the speech from the king. Probably not going to talk to the guards. We don't usually do that. And it'll be gold to start with and more gold. The king has gifted them cash so they can go out and buy whatever they want as long as there's a store, which is far from a sure thing. So we'll see. We'll see if anyone goes back to save. It looks like Beatus is going back to save. Brian Williams is just going to try it, and he goes right to a town, and it's Breckenary. There is no broadsword, so he does reset. Was there a broadsword? I think he wants more money. Axe large is 1460, I'm being told. Beatus does not have enough for that. He is going to grab just the axe. I think that's probably fine. You can get back up to 800 pretty quick, but a little bit of a heads-up play here from DB2. He's going to, first of all, this shot, maybe going to buy some herbs. Yeah, going to buy some herbs, which will help his longevity right here in the early going. And yeah, I was thinking maybe he's going to grab some fairy water. You might as well. It's kind of, you know, that might help you grab something like a Magidraki, a Scorpion that might be a little challenging even with the hand axe. Maybe, you know, if you want to do a metal Scorpion, then you'd be really happy to have fairy water. And it looks like Brian Williams lucked out on his second gold pull, got enough for that large shield. But Beatus is going to go straight for the fairy water. B-Dubs is going to get some fairy water. Neither of them bothered to buy leather armor at all, even though that's only 70 gold. Oh, it looks like Brian Williams has used up almost all of his money. And the first encounter is a red slime, which would have gone down just fine with just the 10 strength with no weapon at all, but with the hand axe will be a very easy pickings for DiabeetusThe2nd. This Magidraki is a little more interesting. Going to throw the fairy water, probably kind of a wash whether to swing on that or use the fairy water, but that will boost DiabeetusThe2nd to 1 point short of level 3. Level 2 gives us 6 strength, 0 hit points, 12 MP, 0 agility, no spells. No big help there on level 2. But going to throw some more fairy water at another Magidraki, and that'll get us level 3. We will get to see 11 strength, 3 agility, 6 hit points, 8 MP, and the spell of outside. So we're starting to cook a little bit. I think this wolf is pretty fightable with the fairy water. But it has sleep. While Brian Williams is getting his level 2, DiabeetusThe2nd sleeps through the occasion and is sent home. That's kind of hard to answer right now with no stop spell. Nothing you have is going to take that out in one hit. But boy, would that 40 points be nice. There's level 3 for Brian Williams. A Wraith Knight is probably a little too ambitious there for Diabetes, and he is going to get sent home again while Brian Williams grabs level 4, taking over the experience lead. That's 7 strength, 3 agility, 5 hit points, 17 MP, and the Spell of Sleep, which might let you do a little bit of no-you on that wolf. Or maybe even make that Wraith Knight fightable. You put it to sleep, stays asleep for 3 or 4 turns, it'll probably go down. Here's level 4 for Diabetes while Brian Williams is back in Brecconary. Maybe he bought a leather armor, I didn't catch that.
He just looked at the weapon inventory and said, nah.
Okay, so still no armor for either of our runners. Brian Williams sleeps the wolf, even though I'm pretty sure he doesn't even know that the wolf has its own sleep spell. It's just prudent to do so. And that's another 40 points, almost to level 5. Hey, that leather armor might be making a considerable difference in the amount of damage that these wolves do. Might save you a hit point or 2 here and there. But DiabeetusThe2nd is going to win the race to level 5 by mere moments with 8 strength, 1 agility, 8 hit points, 27 MP, and Radiant. So you can cast Radiant a lot. Not much else. The only broadly useful spell that our players have access to is Sleep. So you can pretty much cast that as much as you want. You're not going to worry about not being able to cast any of your other spells. Brian Williams not even going to try the Wraith Knight. I probably would have at least thrown a sleep at that. There's another wolf down for Diabetes and already level 6. In as many minutes, that's 7 more strength, 3 agility, 11 hit points, 6 MP, and stop spell. The stats have been coming in pretty quickly here. And Beatus, with his knowledge of the wolf's skill set, goes for stop spell instead of sleep. With wolves, it won't take as long at all to get to level 7. But right now, I mean, this is neck and neck so far. Brian Williams with a little bit of an equipment advantage with that large shield. But it looks like Diabetes has gotten a little more luck with the stuff he's encountered. But no serious efforts to explore yet, and nothing discovered besides the initial start screen Brecconary. And there's a stop spell miss for Diabetes. Honestly, I might just sleep it. Yes, Aaron, they are wolfing down the XP. Brian Williams doing some herb purchasing, which makes sense when you don't have any sort of healing spell. Diabetes, meanwhile, on the cusp of level 7. Chopping down this wolf will get it for him. And that will come with 16 strength, 8 agility, 13 hit points, 5 MP, and return. So the influx of solid stats and marginal spells continues. And Aaron, if they're going to go to level 10 on wolves, I'm going to need something else to talk about. Beta bringing up a potential heads-up strategy here. You could use the fairy water to repel, get rid of all the junky stuff like the Magidrakis while keeping the wolves. I'm gonna look at some of these defense numbers real quick and figure out what sort of a window we're landing in. Okay, so the wolf has 40 strength, so we're not even close. Even with the large shield, we're nowhere near defense breaking that. Meanwhile, the Magidraki is 14, so you would defense break that even without the large shield. There, Brian Williams got his level 7. Yeah, Diabetes does now have the money, as Dweem pointed out, to buy the large shield now if he wanted, but in no hurry. Instead, he's going to go ahead and grab level 8, which is going to come with 0 strength, 1 agility, 0 hit points, 1 MP, and no spells. So that was not much of a level. And now he's going to buy his large shield. I think that's pretty smart. And an armored knight for Brian Williams, saying, no, you're going to level 10 on wolves, at least. And some more exciting herb purchasing for Diabetus2nd, who has built up a pretty considerable experience lead here, about 220 points-ish, as it fluctuates as individual enemies come and go, but hard to say exactly what the origin of that was. I guess just, yeah, Brian has been trying a little bit more to explore and branch out. Diabetes is trying these desert tiles up here with the Wraith Knight, and he just swings, doesn't even try sleep. A lot of attack, 80 attack power. You could get these guys down in a couple hits, and yep, sure enough, 2-shot. Skeleton family monsters tend to have low HP. Yeah, Aaron, maybe that's why he didn't sleep it, is because he just wants to get his money's worth for that large shield. But unfortunately, that is the same zone with the Armored Knight, so a badly polluted zone despite the great enemy. Here is a Rogue Scorpion for Brian Williams. It's casting Stop Spell, which is pretty nice. And he has 1 Fairy Water. Yeah, Fairy Water is great on the Rogue Scorpion. Same defense stat as a Red Dragon does the Rogue Scorpion have, but far less HP. It does have the weak Fire Breaths here, a little bit on the clock, but it does go down for 70 points, and that's going to be level 8 for Brian. It looks like at 80 attack power, you are right on the cusp of your swings being as good as Fairy Waters, so you probably just swing and save the Fairy Waters for repelling or something. And yeah, these Rogue Scorpions are looking like a pretty nice target. They do inflict a fair amount of damage, so they might not be a super sustainable grind, but I think you take them when you run into them. There's a Metal Slime for Brian Williams. This could be an opportunity to totally wipe out that experience gap with a little bit of luck. But no luck comes, and the Metal Slime runs away. Wyvern, another great enemy here, and it's casting Hurt. A knight might be a little much, especially when you're down to 22 HP, and this wizard is way too much. And that's going to be a trip home for B-dubs, while Diabeetus is sticking on the wolves. Oh, reliable wolves, you never let me down. And unfortunately, nobody in this game yet has figured out how to heal through sheer force of will without any healing spells or herbs. So, with the present metagame understanding, attitude will not make a difference. Here's level 9, 0 strength, 3 agility, 8 hit points. Still none of those good spells, no healing spell, no hurt more, not even a plain old hurt. But there's a cave right here, right off screen, and it's the Staff of Rain, old man. Oh, here's a Druin Lord for Diabeetus. That's another enemy that's right in that butter zone for where they're at to swing on with a hand axe. But yeah, Brian Williams has a great zone that he's working on here with wyverns, and honestly, you know, if your chaff is scorpions, that's not too bad. Unfortunately for Diabeetus, the Axe Knight is going to pop up, give him a firm chop, and consume the rest of his herbs. But now we see perhaps the biggest reason why Brian Williams is attracted to this zone. The metal slime is lurking, and we are in a game state where a metal slime kill would be fairly impactful. But it's pretty risky, because, you know, if you can encounter 10 or 15 of them and never get one, and then it's just a huge amount of time down the drain. Beatus puts away a Rogue Scorpion for 70 points. So finding those good enemies. And Brian Williams has conquered the Metal Slime, grabs level 9, gets over 1,000 points, and pulls just about even with Beatus. Gets that disappointing level. And coal located. Nothing in that equipment shop that he wanted. And what is it good for? The Stones of Sunlight. So a required location discovered for Diabeetus. Exploration paying off. But nothing that will especially help him explore any faster from here on. Wait, is this a different town? This is a different town. Another one. Oh, no, it's not. I was like, that looks a lot like... Did he just like walked west into the swamp and then back? And it looks like Brian Williams is up there too. And then just refilled after the swamp damage. This seed is broken. It has 2 coals. And wow, the NPC's not doing their job here and letting Diabeetus just walk straight to that shop and refill his herbs. And Brian Williams will grab his Stones of Sunlight and will not head for the coal shop. Go straight for the inn. Oh, wait. Decides not to rest at the inn? All right.
I think Brian Williams bought chainmail in the hopes of summoning Edward's armor.
Edward's armor. Yeah, he. I guess the RNG manipulation didn't work yet because, or didn't work in that case because Diabeetus had already checked the spot, so the quantum superposition collapsed and was unable to generate armor there in the spot. And the knights! The knights are fully loaded. We got hot knights. Breathing fire and sending Brian Williams all the way home. That'd be a pretty appealing enemy at this stage, if it weren't for that. The mystery voice is Gangly Chris, I think, who has offered to occasionally chime in with additional quips and commentary. DiabeetusThe2nd slept by the wolf, but does take it down. Not really afraid of it. Afraid of its attack power at 28 defense and 74 hit points. This rogue scorpion might be a heavy lift at only 37 HP remaining. But as long as it keeps missing stop spells, anything is possible, and down it goes. Brian Williams selling torches to buy herbs. Real broke energy here. Meanwhile, DiabeetusThe2nd brings down a gold man and is rolling in dough. And hits return, goes straight to Breckenary, and is going to buy something. Does he have half plate money, maybe? He sure does. Saw Brian's chainmail, said, you know what? I can top that. Just need a gold man. And Brian has a cave on screen. And that is just our Staffold man again, right there on the west edge, which we saw Diabeetus hit a while ago. And then, yeah, then that goes up and loops around to Cole. So Brian Williams kind of covering the northwest loop. Beatus is stocking up on berry water, maybe to repel with. At 80 attack power, you're probably not throwing it at much. And Brian Williams did a little bit there to maybe set up a reverse count, since Tanagal is pretty close to the west coast. Sharlock, kind of east of start. And a Demon Knight. Beatus is going to swing. Looks like he can easily bring this down as long as he doesn't miss 3 times in a row, which is always a possibility with the Demon Knights. But gets it in 2 and rakes in 90 points. That might be the biggest kill we've seen so far. And he wants more. Unfortunately, the misses will get the better of him there and send Beatus home. Meanwhile, Brian is getting harassed by green dragons, and there is our first sighting of the red dragon. He gets away. 33 agility is all that you need. Yeah, Kumog talking about progressive weapon armor shields possibility. That is something you can do in the Archipelago version of this game. Star Wyvern proves to be a little much for Brian Williams. And the Armored Knight, they're poised to end Beatus's exploration before it can begin. Send him right home. This is starting to feel a little bit like a slog. Bad enemies all over the place, and not much you can do about them when you don't have any healing spells. Like, even if you get away from that, you know, you get sneak attacked by a Armored Knight. Even if you get away in one, you're crippled. And Diabeetus wants to go back to the wolves, some wolf regression here to just close out, get to level 10. And we will get to see level 2, or level 10, excuse me, with 7 strength, 2 agility, 38 hit points, and 32 MP. So now you can cast Radiant a whole lot. Like, this seed would be blown wide open if they had heal more, but no such luck. And yeah, it's like all the MP in the world won't help you against this Armored Knight when all you have is Sleep Radiant, Stop Spell outside and return. Yeah, wish you could cast outside to get outside of that battle. Yeah, Beta, maybe like damage race an Axe Knight or a Green Dragon, it could happen. Problem is that you can do that once and then you're out of HP, and you gotta use herbs to get it back. And then once the herbs are gone, you gotta walk all the way back to one of the 2 worst shops in the game to access to refill on herbs. He's going to damage race this werewolf, though, which is a little bit risky because werewolves, I think, are the 2nd dodgiest enemy in the game. It's like 1 in 8 or something for them to dodge, so that could go south pretty quickly. There's kind of this, you know, they're being pulled in opposite directions in this seed. You know, do you sit on the wolf and gain experience slowly and steadily, or do you walk out and try to chance it with the Wraith Knights that are protected by Armored Knights, or do you know, take tons of damage fighting these wizards? Yeah, I mean, going to level 11 on wolves kind of hurts. And Beatus is full on herbs, so you could maybe get a couple of wizards out here. There's that gold man again just to taunt him. Nothing really in range to buy. That would help. Yeah, exploring just feels really bad when you have no healing at all and no hurt more spell. You know, even with a lot of HP, it's just like, you know, you explore for ages, you're almost dead. You know your exploration is almost over, and you've barely used any of your MP. It just hurts. We have seen a Magic Wyvern on one side or the other, and that's a really good thing. But that's a problem. Like it makes grinding past like level 9 or 10 really difficult. That to get the good enemies, you have to venture in the zones that might have really, really awful enemies in them. And that's kind of playing out here. There's a blue dragon for Diabeetus that unfortunately is going to run block him. And another armored knight for Brian. There's that Magic Wyvern. That's delicious. Highly sleep susceptible. You know, the one stat that hasn't really been developing here is the agility. And the Armored Knight claims another Diabeetus. But Brian Williams has found a new town here. It's Remolder. This is a major development. Brian will have his keys and potentially will find something critical in one of these locked locations. Diabeetus still with a slight experience lead, but the key discovery is major. We're going to get to see what is here in the Remolder treasure chest. It is money. Looks like Brian opted out of the inn again. He's going to check the weapon shop first. There is a half plate there, but that's the closest thing that he can afford to an upgrade. Rather, the upgrade that he is closest to affording. There's nothing that he could afford with his current gold that would improve him on any access. Oh, but there is, before he even gets a chance to go back to Tanager and open that door, down here is the tablet cave. And you got outside. You finally get to cast it. Vetus is one wolf away. What did he get? Was that a curse belt?
Yep.
Yeah, cursed belt. So no real help there, since we already knew that at least one search spot was populated, and Diabeetus is going to get level 11 here from this wolf, and it contains 2 strength, 11 agility, 5 hit points, 2 MP, no spells. And Beatus unfortunately going the wrong way to find Remolder.
What was the cave Brian just saw? Was it drop cave?
I was not looking at Brian's side. It might have been. He's walking. He found Hawksness. He's walking back.
That says it was grave.
Grave. Okay, and that would explain why Brian goes back in. He's going to try to open these treasure chests in the top of Grave. Brian crushing the exploration right now. And not really missing out on all that much by delaying reaching level 11. There's a fighter's ring. And looks like another cursed belt was in the first one. And an herb. You're gonna eat that right away. I think I'll eat it now. Diabetes swings on the knight. He does not know. The knight has full wombo. How do we tell him? Looks like Brian Williams opted out of diving the grave, which kind of makes sense when you are when you have no healing spell at all, no way to restore hit points. Pretty unlikely that you'll make it to the bottom.
No herbs from the nearby rim.
Now, rim is herbless. No store. What are the people there? Nobody eats food in Remolder. They eat keys and magic armors. Brian Williams is going to swing on this blue dragon that can easily kill him in 2 hits here. It's going to be merciful and give him 3. Swings again. Probably okay with dying here. Does not take it out. I don't know. Maybe he was an outside chance at a 3-shot there. The 3-shot on the blue starts at 92, so no, he could not have 3-shotted it. So pretty much just a run for info there. Finds a silver heart there in the Tanagal Treasury. And Erdrick's token. Wow. Okay, we got all of our quest items. Now we're just looking for gear. And Diabetes continues to insist on the north and continues to find horrible enemies. And there's a dragon scale for Brian Williams. And I guess the last one that I missed was a key refund. And Brian Williams will max out his keys. Diabetes hoping to grind yet more. Get level 12 on... I mean, it's full of the knights. I don't know what he's hoping will happen. He stops spelling them. Doesn't do you much good when they breathe fire. That's not a spell. And here under Tanagal is, I guess, Mountain Cave full of red dragons. Either Mountain Cave or Swamp. It is Mountain. No way of restoring hit points. Just stuck on with the wounds that that red dragon inflicted, and here comes another red dragon to finish the job. And DiabeetusThe2nd has forgotten that South exists, I guess, and cannot go that way. But continuing to build his experience lead. Critting a wizard feels pretty good. And Brian Williams just gonna head straight back to Mountain Cave, not scared of that red dragon. Although, perhaps he should be, just hoping for the RNG to not run into one. Beatus hits return. Gonna walk to Breckenary for the refill. And there's a 3rd cursed belt. So all 3 search spots are populated, and the red dragon is here to interrogate Brian's 35 agility. Will not be enough. Yeah, we have all this curse belt information, but those search spots, the remaining search spots in Hawksness and the overworld coordinates, could very well be Death Necklace and the Fairy Flute. So you got to keep opening these chests. And there's the red dragon just right away. And Diabeetus is back in our favorite place, Brecconary. Every time you think you're done with Brecconary, it comes calling you back. And that is another fatality courtesy of the red dragon for Brian Williams. Will Beatus go south? The answer is no. And Brian gives up. Gonna buy some herbs. More herbs. Brecconary's economy is just booming in this seed. They're gonna have like they're gonna invest all this money that the hero is spending there and build a silver shield factory. Brian Williams goes to the staff old man to obtain a staff, and Diabeetus goes north yet again, hoping to find something to kill that'll get him to level 12. And there you see the problem. Diabeetus is able to bring down one werewolf and then has to go all the way back and heal because he's down to 33 hit points. Yeah, just some tunnel vision or something happening for Diabeetus. It would be great right now for him to find the keys in Remolder, and he goes north again, just completely fixated. Finds another werewolf, though. This will get him to level 12, which might be what he needs. Thankfully for Diabeetus, the treasury in Tanagel did not contain any of Erdrick's gear, so he won't be feeling the difference all that much. And here's level 12. Do we finally get a healing spell? Got 14 strength, 1 agility, 5 hit points, 1 MP, and heal, and hurt, and heal more. Level 12 was the level. Now it's time. It's time to play the game. Look how high that strength is. 88. Got over 100 with just the hand axe on attack power. It's going to be 128 with Erdrick's sword whenever that shows up, and you got 111 MP, so you can cast Heal More a lot. It really is hard to call who's in the lead right now, since Brian Williams has the keys, which is a really big deal, but Diabeetus has the Heal More, and Brian won't have it for a while. But Diabetes is walking south. And I think he might be kind of near Remolder, so this might suddenly be looking like a Diabetes race very soon. A critical hit on the green dragon, that feels pretty good. And there's the red. Diabetes does not even hesitate. He is going to swing on it, bring it down, get that 350. His rate of experience gain is going to explode relative to Brian Williams since he doesn't have to go back and heal after every single fight. And Diabetes has arrived in Remolder. So Brian Williams probably wants to have level 12 acquired before Diabetes finishes all of his door opening. Seems like a tall order. But in the meantime, Brian is pushing exploration, might find something else to give him an edge in the meantime. Cantlin would be a major find. Yeah, Diabetes hits return right away after buying his keys, which probably cost him seeing Grave.
You'd be hitting the throne room to set up a possible gold grind underneath.
I never thought of that.
Usually you warp back with the death warp, so you don't have to.
Yeah, it never occurred to me to hit return.
Yeah, they saw the silver shield, and
that wouldn't work because when you return, you go to the overworld. So that doesn't set up a gold grind.
No, but he opened up the treasury and then he hit the throne room, so that's 7 chests.
Right.
Chest from down here.
Right, that doesn't have anything to do with why you cast return. Yeah. Yeah, so that's pretty heads up because now, we're talking about Mountain Cave. It looks like Brian is going to try Mountain Cave again, still without Healmore. It's gonna this might get ugly. Meanwhile, Beatus is already level 13. 1 strength, 13 agility, 3 hit points, 8 MP, and repel. And there's the red dragon for Brian, and he is not getting away. Oh, there he goes. Gonna make it to the 2nd floor. Which hopefully doesn't have any red dragons in it, or knights. Or armored knights. Now, Diabetes has chest glitches. They both have chest glitches. I have no idea what they are finding. A torch, I guess. Bamboo pole. I guess it was one of the... maybe an herb? Or key? No?
Torch, fairy water, and I think maybe fairy water?
Fairy water, okay, that was fairy water. And in the final chest, more fairy water, or is it something else? Let's see. Curse built and obtained wings. The wings were disguised as fairy water. Thanks to the crazy chest glitch that this game has. And no gold grind. Yeah, none of the upstairs chests were gold either, so gold grind is out. That's pretty unlucky, having Mountain Cave under Tanager and having no gold grind.
Too much gold in the throne room.
Yeah, the king was keeping it all to himself upstairs. Well, he wasn't keeping it all to himself. He gave it away, but didn't leave any for the downstairs where it can be replicated ad infinitum. And Beatus going to grab his staff, and I would say firmly seize the lead in this race.
DB needs to get back to where Rim was to find the other caves and Hawksness.
Yeah, at this point he could easily take that blue dragon on the Hawksness spike. He just doesn't know where Hawksness is. And now
Brian has seen... Go ahead.
Now just both runners swinging on stuff that they can take out, but you can see the difference here. The werewolves for Diabeetus are going to be much more lucrative than the wyverns for Brian.
You think once Brian gets his heal more, he's going to grind on the Hawksness blue dragons?
That's kind of tough. The blue dragon is usually not a very good grind. And there's, you really want to find Cantlin as soon as possible. And we know that there's a lot of, there's red dragons out there. There's armored knights, there's axe knights, there's green dragons. There's stuff to fight. So I don't think I would grind on the blue dragon.
What I was going to mention is Brian has seen everything that Diabetes has seen, and neither has seen the drop trade-in or the Stones Cave. Or swamps entrances.
Yeah, there are various other things to find. Again, I think Cantlin is the big one, because that's got your coordinates. And that's your best shot of grabbing one of the pieces of Erdrick's gear. It's something that you absolutely have to hit before you can step into Charlock, unless on the remote chance that they get both of Erdrick's items before that. And Brian Williams reaches level 12 and now has Heal More. And there's that grave, I think, for... Nope, that is the tablet cave for Diabeetus. Grave is closer to Hawksness. So Diabeetus will be caught up on the exploration pretty soon, since all that stuff that Brian Williams had, that Beatus did not have, was all near Remolder. But Ryan is off into new locales and may find his missing stuff pretty soon. I think he was just here. There's that grave. So Beatus is going to be kept busy for a while here, taking care of all this stuff. Brian is back in this zone, probably wanting to hit Hawksness as soon as possible. So he was not exploring new locales, he was on his way back, which makes perfect sense. And like me, forgetting which cave was which, trying Tablet Cave first, and then going, oh, no, this grave was down here. Although what he really wanted was Hawksness, so I'm not really sure why he entered Tablet Cave there at all. Diabetes continues trying to fight the knight, despite how incredibly deadly it is. And there, Beatus makes it into the grave. Not even going to check that town before taking it on.
Town is 1 pixel to the left.
Is it? It's off screen. Okay, he did not see it. And Brian is going to fight this blue dragon. Will easily take it down now with heal more. Oh wait, they haven't found Garanham, have they? I always forget about Garanham. 3 entire chests in there, pays not to forget about it. So that's another thing looming large. Oh, Beatus, oh no! Beatus! Okay, well there's Erdrick's armor on the Hawksness search, which makes it all the more tragic that Beatus exited grave after grabbing the top 3 and just immediately walked east and did not see Hawksness. Also, I'm being told has not equipped his fighter's ring. And he hits, did he hit return? Or no, he took the in. I was like, why is the screen black for so long? Does he go back to the west? West, Beatus, west, no! Okay, that was, this is now an interesting race.
What grinding wolves to level 13 does to somebody.
Golem's packing the weak breath, which is much weaker than their punches, so Golem's actually a pretty appealing target here. But Diabetes still way in the lead on experience and will likely get even more of a lead with these golems. So very much not over. Oh, he remembered to put the fighter's ring on. That's good.
Could be DB gets hurt more and finds Swamp able to grind up much faster than Brian.
Okay, so the golems actually have heal more in addition to their weak breath, so you do need to stop spell them. %50 heal more, 50% weak fire on the golem. And a 5 out of 16 stop spell resist. That is kind of rough. Still, those two were kind enough to beat us to get him to level 14 with 1 strength, 6 agility, 1 hit point, 5 MP, no spells. But these stats are looking pretty sweet. 124 MP is off the charts. I think we're kind of done. I think they have all the stats they need. I might stop fighting stuff. Like you don't really need hurt more. And Brian Williams has found Garanham. Oh, that was a close one. Brian Williams almost just bought a half plate, I think, and sold his Erdrick's armor for $1. caught himself. He would have had to go back and fight the blue dragon again. But yeah, Beatus now in even more trouble since he's actually gotten such a big experience lead that he's reached go stats and doesn't have everything he needs. So you could say that he overgrinded. And some junk there in the back of Garenham key refill. Location of Erdrick's sword is currently mattering a lot. And there's your swamp cave. Could spit you out near Cantlin, perhaps? Or even the Stones of Sunlight cave, which I think we also haven't found. Is that Garenham for Beatus? Yes. Level 13 would be really nice for Brian if for no other reason than that it has Repel. And he's just getting showered with garbage right now. There's a green dragon, that's pretty good. But he runs away. I cannot understand why Brian would run away from that. He's running from everything.
Does he think level 12 is go mode?
Maybe. I think, though, you still just fight stuff. I mean, because, like, getting from 12 to 13 just doesn't take that long. And, like, getting Repel would speed you up a lot. And, like, a little bit of extra stats, like, just a little extra agility would be nice. Yeah, I mean, so if Brian does fight stuff that he, thinks will be hard to run from, like the Armored Knights and Red Dragons, he might end up on level 13 anyway. Only takes a few of those. And Brian is going to be his first with the Rainbow Drop at 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 21 seconds. That's kind of the thing that's bad about like not fighting stuff right now on level 12 is that, since your agility is so low, it's really hard to run from stuff. So like it wouldn't even take that much longer to just fight stuff rather than running from it. And Cantlin discovered for Brian, and this will be only a 1 in 3 chance that this is the sword, actually. It is guaranteed that there's something there because we've seen all 3 cursed belts, but not a great chance that this is sword, but you still just have to do it. 29 south, 86 east. Ooh, that's tricky. Reverse count, possibly? Not sure how you would get the north-south. You might have to find... Yeah, it's near the coast. You gotta find the exact right column, and then just try the whole column, I guess. Try to use a torch twice, which can only be used in dark places. Fairy water yourself. And Brian Williams applying some advanced mathematical equations to try and... Okay, so he knows how far it was from the west coast to kind of the coast of that strip of land that he was standing on, and then he could count from there to Tanagal. Would be nice to get some kind of anchor to the north so that you could at least get the general area rather than needing to do the whole column. Yeah, not sure what Diabeetus is hoping for. He could cast Repel and get rid of a fair amount of stuff, but he's continuing to fight despite being level 14 and having considerably more agility than Brian. There's your Stone's Cave. Never got to see what was in here. I guess if Brian found it, it was money. And there's the knight. I bet you wish you had Erdrick's armor. Gonna cast Heal More. Gonna get put to sleep again. I think you're pretty good odds to get away on 66 agility. Oh yeah, nobody dove Grave. I forgot about that. Both of them pieced out on the top two chests, and that knight is going to claim Diabeetus, which might work to his favor if he decides to go and check where we know Hawksness to be. Meanwhile, Brian Williams employing advanced counting techniques. That feels like it must be too far south. I gotta think that by now Beatus has seen everything north of Start. He's gone north so much. And here's level 15 for Diabeetus, a full 3 levels past go. 2 hit points, 4 MP, and hurt more. Why not? Not much help in the stats. You could maybe put on a death necklace now, but you wouldn't. It'd be really, really rough. It would turn a really simple go into a really rough go to wear a death necklace. I think that did get another heal more. 128 is, what was that? That's 16 heal mores. I think right now Beatus's best bet is for this count to go extremely badly for Brian, which is well within the realm of possibility because he is just trying the entire stretch of land. Oh no, he hits return. Brian Williams bails. And Diabeetus is still fighting stuff. What does Brian do now? Does he rescue the princess? He just way down in the south, I think way south of Hawksness, where he needs to be. I guess we've been demanding that Diabeetus go south so much that the automod has started picking it up as spam. Oh, Beatus is back in the area here. He finds Hawksness. And we'll have Erdrick's armor very soon. Is there any scenario where Diabeetus does this without finding Cantlin and doing the search? Maybe he thinks he can do it without Erdrick's sword. And Brian Williams back here in the southeast, back to searching every tile in the world, hoping to find his fairy flute, probably, knowing this game. Oh, there it is! It's the death necklace! Brian Williams, still not level 13, has been single-handedly supporting the entire fairy water industry. Buying the stuff by the gallon.
What is Brian looking for?
What is he doing?
All he has left is Deep Grave or Charlock, right?
Sure looks like he's looking for something. Yeah, I mean, yeah, nothing left to find unless he didn't find the Stones Cave.
He did. It was right near what's the thing you turn in? Where is it? The drop trade-in cave, and then
he's trying to grind, which is pretty funny when you consider that he was running from all that stuff.
DB got his drop.
Yep, so now DB ready to hit Charlock whenever he wants, as long as he is okay with not checking the Cantlin coordinates search.
And Cantlin's on his screen, so I think he's going to go there and get the chords.
Yep. Get his death necklace.
Maybe. I was saying in chat that I would just give up on the chords until getting all those chests in Charlock. Which of course means the sword will be in the 5th chest of Grave.
Yeah, Beta talking about broadsword death necklace. You'd have 96 hit points, which feels kind of bad, but with 16 heal mores, you can get a lot done. And you would have, let's see, that'd be 102, so 1 death necklace on, 122 attack. Fairy water, that's doable. Beat us counting all the way to the north here. And Diabetes is just counting. Just gonna count across the land. Not even attempting a reverse. And nobody wants to be the guy who rescues the princess. And here at long last is level 13 for Brian Williams. I was there. He goes into Cole, gonna refill, gonna maybe try to go here, but without 100% knowledge that Sword is in Charlock. Diabetes not gonna fight this Armored Knight? Okay, there we go. Getting pretty close to 16. That might be the magic number to make this doable without Erdrick's sword. Meanwhile, Brian's just gonna go in, just going to take the chance that it's in Deep Grave. And Diabetes is going to fight this Red Dragon, which will get him level 16, and we'll see if that makes it a clear swordless go. Odds do favor 7 and 9 odds that Sword is here in Charlock, but level 16 is going to have 3 strength, 6 agility, 9 hit points, 2 MP. Yeah, I mean, with a broadsword, I think that's definitely all you need. Much safe. Now, the chance of needing to double heal more is pretty much gone. The agility's way higher. But none of it matters if Brian finds Erdrick's sword in here, which he is likely to do. Now, Diabetes must employ the power of the spiral in order to find his death necklace here. Not really spiraling. But he finds it. No spiral needed. He was confident in that north-south. And he hits return, and we'll see what decision gets made here regarding the dive. I think okay, Beatus already has a broadsword. So he puts on Death Necklace, he goes to 125. I mean, I don't even know if you need Fairy Water. You have so many heal mores. If I'm Diabetes, I don't even consider looking for Erdrick's sword.
Who do we think feels more behind?
That's a good question. Probably... Oh man, yeah, I guess Diabetes probably feels behind because of how long it took him to find Erdrick's armor. Brian probably feels behind because of how badly that coordinate count went. And also how long it took him to get Repel. So they both have pretty compelling reasons to feel behind. Oh boy, Torch. Got a bunch of gold, a torch. There's the sword. This is now fully in hand for Brian Williams. Diabeetus' hopes rapidly dwindling. He needs something to go majorly wrong for Brian here. After a seed that can only be described as back and forth, and at times befuddling, but Brian could just about get an encounter on every tile, and Diabeetus wouldn't have time to catch up. I'm gonna use a heal more, no problem there. Got way more heal mores than he needs. Although this red dragon's taking him to the cleaners. I'm not sure, I wasn't counting the damage on that red dragon, whether that last swing was guaranteed or not. Now the Dragon Lord fight, I think the only thing that can stop Brian Williams at this point is a mismenu or calamitous rolls, the likes of which have never been seen. There's an 8, so we're off to a cracking start. $13, so 21. $13, so 34. You're gonna watch me try to add in my head, and then look at what Chris posts in chat. 15, so I don't know, 49? Yeah. $12, so 61. $73. $87. No hurt more lets you menu out those heal mores all the faster. 97. $110. Or did I miss one? We're at 131. 121. Automod tried to hold 108. Well, he's probably safe. Got 3 heal mores left. And that's going to be it. Get your GGs out in chat for brianwilliams42, who will take this game 3, advance to the round of 8, and send DiabeetusThe2nd home. Now Brian will make the Erdrick swordless attempt.
Yeah, so Brian had a double in there that snuck by you, and then my one key on my keyboard got stuck.
That would explain it. Diabetes being greatly slowed down by having Hurtmore at the bottom of his menu and needing to tap up one additional time to cast Healmore, but rolls a critical hit there against the Red Dragon. "17 wolves defeated for Brian Williams in this wolf-tacular seed. 10 rogue scorpions. Encountered 19 green dragons. That's another star of the seed. And Diabetes puts on the Death Necklace. Will have 125 attack power with no Erdrick's Sword. And welcome in brianwilliams42, who's in the booth now. I think we'll hear more from him after this Dragon Lord fight is resolved for Diabetes. Which I have not been counting, might have been smart to do so, but Diabetes here with no Erdrick's Sword, just Broadsword, throw on Fairy Waters at level 16. That was a poor Fairy Water, only 9 from that one. That's the Mineral. And then a bad Healmore. Ooh, and then a 50 from the Dragon Lord. That's really rough. He has to double Healmore. Not sure if he can afford that. He was down a couple Healmores at the start of the fight. And an 11. I think the Fairy Waters have been well below average for Diabetes. Now the Fairy Water's depleted for Diabetes. He will begin swinging that broadsword. The Dragon Lord, from his perspective, probably can't believe his luck that the hero didn't grab Erdrick's Sword, considering that it was right there in the armory. Yeah, the alternate timeline where Sword rolls into bottom grave, well, the race would still be ongoing. Oh, he tries to hurt more. Unless that was a mismenu, I think Diabetes has given up hope. And Diabetes is vanquished by the Dragon Lord. His Erdrick's swordless attempt is thwarted, and he's going to throw the DNF. So, Brian, what'd you think of that seed?
I don't know, how many times can you use the torch to try to repel things? That's what I'm wondering. But otherwise, I'm sure chat picked up on it. I was pretty nervous when everything didn't turn up sword, and I felt very behind given the go level, and I felt like I had to take my 2/3 chance on the bottom having the sword. So the last chest I opened having it was then a 25% chance, and I couldn't believe it. So I mean, I got lucky, I guess. So, but it was a tough seed. No healing. You had to really work for every bit of progress.
Yeah, that one was just back and forth the whole way. Diabetes had the experience lead for pretty much the whole way, as you can probably ascertain from these final levels. I mean, if you thought you overgrinded, holy mackerel, when we saw, and then there's Diabetes now, GG's Diabetes. What'd you think of this seed?
Excuse me. Well, GG to Brian first. Congratulations. I know it was a very hard-fought series between us. I thought that it was, again, similar to our game 2, a very fitting type of seed for two veterans in a bracket playoff in a tournament. I mean, it was a very difficult seed, all kinds of silly shenanigans, no healing, no hurt more, tons of MP, but nothing to cast, silly abilities on silly enemies, and yeah, just an interesting experience, let's say.
Yeah, we GG, Diabetes. This was for sure your kind of seed. I'm sure, given especially the end stats, that you camped like the Wyvern Rogue Scorpion zone or something and just got tons of levels. I pushed out everywhere and got nothing for it. But at level 12 being go and 13 being maybe a safety level, I just ran from everything the rest of the way. And gambled on sword in the treasury because I didn't check the bottom of grave. So that was how I ended up where I was, with a lot of fear about those last couple chests, because it was the 250 in the last one I opened. So
What level did you win at?
13.
That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible. I mean, the stats were there if you had the sword, potentially. I mean, well, not at that point, Death Necklace, but with the agility such as it was, there was no shot, and I was getting pulverized all over the map. So the easiest way to get things out of the way is just to slash them down or eventually hurt more of them away. So I ended up at 16.
Yeah, it felt really weird running from Magic Wyverns and Blue Dragons that you could kind of hack down, but I knew the stats were good enough. I just had to find the sword. I biffed the count. I was off by 1 on the east-west reverse because I didn't quite do it right. And then I counted again to get the Death Necklace. And so at that point, I was like, well, let's just get 13 and hope it is good enough. And the sword is in there. So, yeah, I guess, I don't know if you checked the bottom of grave. I'm guessing not because of all the levels. I don't know.
I did not. I did not have the sword, and when I did the count, because that was the last thing that I found. It's 2 in 3 chance it's sword or Death Necklace. If it's the flute, egg on my face. But if it's the sword or the Death Necklace, we're going. Broadsword or not, we're going for it. And it didn't work, but I mean, I also didn't anticipate rolling 9, 9, 9, 10, 11 on my fairy waters. So also heal mooring 90 into a 50. So I was down at 44 again. Oh boy. Everything went wrong on that DL2 fight, but I mean, the ship had sailed at that point, so it really didn't matter.
Yeah, but I agree. It was a good kind of game 3 bracket seed. This is what you want. No easy way out of this one. So, yeah, I don't know if Coms wants to ask questions of either of us. I'll give it over to you.
Yeah, I was just gonna kind of inform you guys of the pivotal moments in that seed. Kind of Brian finding keys first was kind of the first thing, and then we kept watching. Diabetes. You just kept going north over and over again. We were like, Beatus, you need to go south, so you can find those keys. And then Beatus won the race to heal more, which in this seed heal more is hurt more. It blew things open so much, and then the experience gap started to accelerate. And then Diabetes finally found Remolder, and it's like, okay, now this is really close. And then, he went into Garen's grave, got those top 3 chests, exited, and walked east, and did not see Hawksness. And that was right after Brian had gotten Erdrick's armor, I think, out of Hawksness, and we were like, no, Diabetes. And that was a major turning point.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I had. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then the count difficulties for Brian kind of brought it back close together.
Early on, we had a joke after level 4 and 5. Oh, these wolves, they're going to be here until level 10. And you really should have.
Yeah, the wolves to level 10 might not have been a terrible idea.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you thought. I Maybe. Yeah, with Fairy Water. I mean, I kept my defense at 38, 39, so they were always still in play when I was using those Fairy Waters. But I just figured with all this HP, I want to find something a little bit juicier than like a 1 in 5 wolf encounter zone. And then I also wanted better gear to really be able to fight things. Like, I'd love to defense break anything on this seed, and I just couldn't get anything.
Yeah, nearly every zone outside of those base ones had a Sharlock guarding it, either a wizard or a blue dragon or an armored knight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to finish this one out after we get done here. If for no other reason, I think this has to be a record, and probably the only time I've ever done it in, I don't know, 600, 700 race seeds at this point. I want to see how many returns I cast. I've never done a return grind before. Go fight one enemy, cast return, walk to Brecconary, stay at the inn, cast return, walk back out, fight one enemy, cast return, go to Brecconary. How many times did I run into an armored knight or a werewolf immediately walking to the northeast to try to get out of that starting area? And I literally would fight one thing, maybe I'd kill it, maybe I would die to it, and then head right back. I was not surprised. I would, as soon as I saw keys at 45 minutes at Rim, I knew that this was like, I'm playing from behind. I have to be as aggressive as possible. I have to go the right way. Everything has to be perfect, or at least that's how it felt. It sounds like it was perhaps a bit closer considering the level gap, but all of that, and it still didn't work that way. I think I was almost out of resources when I exited Grave, and that's why I went back to Rim. And then I just like, well, I'm over in this direction, so I'll just go to the southeast. And immediately after that, and it wasn't brought up, but I think for me, this was even more of the pivotal moment is when I get to the second continent and I'm 2 steps from the drop cave and I get ambush slapped DL2'd by the knight. That was the pivotal moment for me because that means I had to walk all of that back a second time. And I didn't see Caitlin, so no chance to save the princess and get the coordinates on the walk back. So I had to do that all over again. I mean, that is at least a 5 to 8 minute time loss just because of getting ambushed by the knight.
Yeah, I think there were quite a few bad deaths for both of you. Brian had 10 and Diabeetus has 11. I don't think that's including the Dragon Lord death. So, honestly, I thought those death numbers would be higher, but
yeah, I mean, because the wolves were super free, and like Diabeetus said, we just cast return and get more stuff. I was definitely not doing a full-on return grind, but I was like, well, if I run out of herbs, I just cast return. I'm instantly there, and I can use an inn instantly. So yeah, it did kind of feel like that, except the red dragons in Mountain Cave were half my deaths, I think. The armored knights were pretty brutal out there in those few zones they were in. Yeah, I don't know if Diabeetus even saw the red dragons in Mountain, but I saw a lot.
I think he.
I was already like level 12 with Heal More or something, so I was just slashing through all of that because it took me so long to get keys. Like I said, I think I actually had Heal More before I even found any of that.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think totally not surprised. It was kind of one of those seeds that cried out for grinding to healing, especially once you start to see the wizards, the armored knights, the blue dragons. But I ignored all those signals and just pushed out. So yeah, but 10 deaths feels really low for how painful it was.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like I sat on the wolf and took the grind all the way as well. I mean, as soon as I had the cash to get large shield, I bought it. As soon as I had the cash to get the half plate, I bought it. Even though that put the wolves into the repelled category, you have to be able to find something, right? There's got to be some mid-game enemies somewhere. I think I ran into like 1 random Druid Lord. I ran into like 2 random Wolf Lords and then couldn't get any more. And every zone that seemed like maybe, again, the Knight. Oh, it's got Sleep and DL2 Breath. Well, that's not good. The Wizard, well, that's still a little bit powerful and it's stuck in the Demon Knight zone, which I kept getting dodged by. There were just not enough good enemies kind of around, which was really unfortunate.
Yeah, I think the two of us probably could analyze this seed all day. So maybe we'll do that. Diabetes' channel if he's still going to hang out and finish the seed.
I do have that habit, don't I?
It's fun. I love doing it. I love that we play and then actually analyze it afterwards because it's what we do. But yeah, maybe we'll let comms also go because it's been a long time. So maybe if you want to wrap up or ask us anything else, we'll continue our analysis offline.
Again, it looks like we may be raiding into Diabetes, so
sounds good to me. I'll be here.
yeah.
All the post-game analysis, and we'll get a return count. What's the over/under? 50?
Yes, you guys can stick around for the in-depth post-game show from DiabeetusThe2nd here. Remember to follow our runners. That's DiabeetusThe2nd and brianwilliams42. And also our Restream crew, that was Tanuki Monster on the Restream and Gangly Chris on tracking and briefly on commentary. And I have been Quinn Patrick, your commentator. We've also got more action tonight. I think there's a Nest Cardinality Angel FM race, game 1 race tonight, which is the winner of that series will play Brian Williams in the next round, in the round of 8.